Hello everybody, my name's Wallace Pasco. Today we're going to be reviewing the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man films. We've reviewed the Raimi films, a lot of the MCU, and we're tier listing them in a long series. Like seriously, this has to be really long now.
Yeah.
So, first, The Amazing Spider-Man 1. I know you haven't really watched these two films in a long ass time, so just gonna say now, The Amazing Spider-Man 1 is massively misunderstood. I think this film is great for a lot of ways. Like, yeah, you can complain about Peter being snarky and confident, but to be honest, I like how in this film Peter is more of an isolated guy. He feels neglected, he's isolated, he doesn't really feel like he can connect to many people. Yeah, he still has crushes, and I imagine his crushes are him trying to fill in his lack of love. And I like how this Peter is an artist, but he's a rebellious as well, and I imagine that could really connect to a lot of people. Same for Gwen, being the smart, capable and funny girlfriend type, you know, the sort of girl you'd probably fall for, especially someone like Peter, is perfect and they both work together perfectly. And Uncle Ben is perfect in this film. I might like him more than how he is in the Raimi films. He feels more like a person in this one, not just to make Peter, you know, just... I really like The Amazing Spider-Man. Even the high school bits feel more real than in the Raimi films. I know it's because the Raimi films didn't really focus on high school at all, but I don't know, I really like this film. I love how Peter is someone from the beginning is set up to like photography, so it's more fitting when he becomes a photographer for the Daily Bugle. It's set up way better. Peter becoming Spider-Man makes way more sense in this film to me, because he has that rebellious attitude to him. I feel like he would do this, and Peter becoming a hero in this film is way more fitting, right? Like, well, not, it's, I feel like it's more impactful, because the film begins with Peter becoming Spider-Man because he's mad about someone who killed Uncle Ben. He doesn't become Spider-Man to save people. He doesn't become Spider-Man to help people. He becomes Spider-Man to kill the person who killed Uncle Ben. That's it. That's his whole reason. He's going around fighting criminals, and he doesn't even arrest them or anything. He's just looking for the person who killed Uncle Ben. He develops web shooters, he makes his costume, he becomes this vigilante with the sole purpose of trying to kill Uncle Ben, which is his fault, all his fault, because he had an immature outburst. Peter was ignoring Uncle Ben's texts, which made him get rightfully reprimanded for his actions. He's being an immature, spiteful little shit, and it caused Uncle Ben's death, who was nothing but good to him. And he's been dreaming about his father, when his real father, Uncle Ben, was there the whole time. Peter starts off in the film as a fucking asshole, and that's how he's like in the comics in the beginning. It's so fitting, it's amazing, and what I like about it is that eventually Peter starts to actually start arresting criminals. He starts to actually stop them. He starts to actually save people. And he even says, "Hey, I'm just trying to help you cops, okay? I'm not trying to be a bad guy." He even says that. And when the
looks really good.
the lizard,
Really like the costume design.
yeah, I love it. When the lizard attacks the bridge, right? Peter decides not to fight the lizard, but to save all the people on the bridge. He decides to save a kid, which makes him lose the lizard. And you know what? Throughout the rest of the series, Peter completely gives up on looking for Uncle Ben's killer. He decides protecting other people is way better than just killing someone. From there, and that's when he saves that kid, from dying, and he returns that child to his father. Do you want to know what he says next? The father says, "Who are you?" And Peter says, "I'm Spider-Man," because that's when he becomes Spider-Man. He stops becoming a vengeful killer. He stops becoming someone angry and prick. He becomes a hero then, throughout the rest of the film. He's trying to stop the lizard because it's his fault. Peter is the reason why Kirk Connors even became the lizard, and that's actually true. Peter is the one who came up with the scientific DNA formula to make it happen. It's Peter's responsibility. Everyone the lizard kills is Peter's fault. And Peter agrees, and he hates himself for it, and he says Spider-Man is gonna stop it. Spider-Man is gonna be a better person. Peter hates himself, but he wants to make Spider-Man a better version of himself. And that's why he's risking his life to stop the lizard. He doesn't even want to kill the lizard because he knows it's not his fault, it's Peter's fault. Peter is the villain of this film, and he's gonna make up for it. Because that's it. Every bad thing that happens in the film is Peter's fault. And for yeah, he did. It's because he is good at making love stories with flawed characters and overcoming problems, okay? Like, this is a great idea. Yeah, this film is absolutely fucking amazing. The effects are amazing. The music is absolutely incredible. Seriously, the music I absolutely love in this film.
You put it in like...
No, I put this in A. The Amazing Spider-Man 1 is so underrated. There are problems, and I will go over that, but altogether, this film is extremely solid.
You said really bad things about that.
That's just because Spider-Man appeals to me more, and because it's a more personal and grounded story.
No, Alex, does Amazing Spider-Man 2 appeal to you?
Well, I'm not done with talking about Amazing Spider-Man 1 yet.
No, we are.
But there are some things I need to say first about Amazing Spider-Man before continuing. Right. Here are some issues I have with it. One, the lizard design, it looks like a Goomba. Kirk Connors is massively misused. They should have shown his family. They didn't at all. And it deleted scenes of it. They should have shown more of Kirk Connors' family. And yeah. Also, Peter literally leaves his identification name on his cameras, which is how Lizard finds out Peter is Spider-Man. Peter would not make that stupid mistake. And how the fuck did Oscorp security not have security cameras? Like, Peter literally snuck into a lab and got bitten by a spider. Oscorp security is fucking terrible. I don't know if that would happen. It would have been better if they made it in the film. Whilst the tour is going on, some hazmat suit guys are like walking around and saying, one of the spiders has broke out of the lab, and Peter's like, what? And then one of the spiders bites him, but I understand why they just did it the way they did, and I probably won't change it anyway, because it helps support the theory that Peter is looking for his father. In the end of the film, Peter decides to stop looking for the past, stop looking to his own goals, and instead help others. Now, even the ending, Captain George Stacy, Gwen's father, he starts off believing Peter is just an asshole who only cares about himself, but then in the end he understands how Peter is a hero. And here is the thing. Captain George Stacy says, Peter, stay away from Gwen because you're going to put her in danger. But what does Peter do? Well, he decides to stay with Gwen anyways. Yeah, he does break up with her first, but then he comes back to her because he can't handle being alone. Peter does get over his trauma, but love is way too strong to suppress. And yeah, this is a character flaw, but I'm not saying it's a problem with the film, because Amazing Spider-Man 2 does address this. So altogether, Amazing Spider-Man 2 is good. I think they just misused the lizard. They should have done more of it. It should have been... Amazing... What? Oh no, I meant Amazing Spider-Man 1.
You just say
Sorry, alright. I think Amazing Spider-Man 1's great. They should have done more with the lizard, way more, showing his family, his origin, all of that stuff. They should have included deleted scenes. And just... I'm sorry, but that genuinely is the reason. It's why I love shows like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, because they always include everything, and more. And it's just perfect to me. So... yeah, Amazing Spider-Man, A. Brilliant. Fucking love it. To be honest, I do like it more than Spider-Man 3. And I did explain why. And Andrew Garfield is amazing as Peter. Just as great as Toby, so yeah.